By the way, disclaimer, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So if you have one of these bags and you're looking for how to take care of it, please do not do what I'm doing. Hi again. It is the next Tuesday again. That means that it has been exactly 3 weeks since my surgery now. And I just wanted to give you some updates. So I forgot to show you the last time that I was recording, but I had a pretty big bruise on this hand. I don't know if you're able to tell, but it was from blood work. That's finally gone, and then there's like one little dot left on my hand from the IV. The scab came off, so that's a scar now. That'll probably go away soon. I still have that little dot from the IV right there. That's just a tiny little scab. And then I have a scar now from the other IV. This red mark is also from the IV. I don't know, like nothing went in there, but it was like irritating it or something. All the swelling was here in my upper arm, and as I noticed it going away, I started to feel pain down here, so it like moved from here to here, and then I noticed like a bump, and it still hurts a little baby bit when I touch it. And I'm pretty damn sure that it's my vein, because you can see my vein so clearly. It's so gross. But there is a bump here, like directly on my vein, and it grosses me out so much. And that was hurting a lot when I first noticed it. And I think it got a little bit smaller since I found it. But it freaks me the hell out, and I do not like it. And I'm gonna ask my doctor about it when I see her next, which is gonna be in 3 days. So I'll be able to ask her all my millions of questions, and I'll hopefully be able to schedule my next surgery, because I don't know when that's gonna be yet. Oh, okay, so I remember telling you like the things that hurt, like sneezing, and how my body was rejecting all of my sneezes. I'm pretty sure the same day a real sneeze actually came out, like maybe a few hours after I recorded that. But it was like the most pathetic baby, like nothing sneeze ever. I didn't even know that was possible, because I feel like all my sneezes are really violent, but it was just like an exhale. Like, it's hard to explain, like it was so weak. But now I probably sneeze about 50% of the time that I have to. Half of the time my body rejects it still, but they are starting to come out. It just depends on like the position I'm in, I think, and how much it hurts for that initial inhale. But I was telling you the things that hurt, and I was remembering there was one more thing, and I couldn't remember what it was, but it's yawning. Yawning, for some reason, like your lungs are just completely filling up, and it hurts. Like, for some reason breathing is like an issue. But it's getting better. So I'm gonna show you my belly now, so trigger warning. The tape came off from where my tube was. Remember that tube that was in my belly? Pretty sure that fell off the same day. Again, same thing like the sneeze. Right after I finished recording, it fell off. So I'll show you what that looks like now. It's a scar. Hopefully it'll go away. But that's it right there. It's really weird. Like, it totally is like indented. Sorry, that's just an incision right there. But it like totally creases on that spot. Like, it's so weird. And I wonder if she did that on purpose, because you can tell that this is just where that natural crease on my body is when I bend over. So I'm sort of wondering, like, I wonder if she knew that this was gonna scar, and I wonder if she tried to put it in the most discreet place, because when I bend over you can't see it. It looks like a division sign, like it has like a dot above and below it, and I don't know what it is or why. Like, I can't feel anything, but I do feel scar tissue building under here, and it hurts a little bit if I like really push down. So I'm gonna ask her if there's any way that I can get rid of that scar tissue, or like try to help it heal better so that it doesn't actually scar. I'll show you the incisions, which look a lot better. This is one of them, and it's just glue. Like, all the brown that you're seeing is glue. There's a little spot underneath where the glue came off. Like, obviously a lot of glue came off since last time you saw. There's a little red spot right under, and that's a scar. That's the actual incision. So I'm sure if this glue were to come off, it would also just look like a red mark like that. Here's the other incision right there. It also has a lot of glue, but as you can see, like underneath, it's just one big like slit. And then the last one, sorry, you're going to see my bag. There's really no getting around this. This one is pretty gross still, not gonna lie. Sorry, I need to like back up or something. So that is what that bottom one looks like. That little dot that you see there is a scab. All of the glue came off, so this is just how my skin looks. I'm trying my very hardest to not let that scab fall off because, you know, I don't want the scar to get worse because it looks pretty bad in my opinion. And it's also really irritated like all around. But this line that you see here and then over here, that's just sticky stuff from the tape from my bag that I have on. So that's like nothing. So this is the full view of everything. Same thing with this like big incision here. It enhances my fucking like belly flap so much. And again, I'm like, did she do that on purpose? Because you'd think that it would be hidden, but it actually enhances this a lot. Like it makes it look like a deep shadow, like a huge fucking fat roll. But I'm pretty sure on this side, well actually you can't tell because there's tape on it, but I swear to God, like it's really not that bad. It's never been that bad. It just is totally an illusion. I'll show you what the bag looks like, I guess. And I emptied it like right before I started recording, so there's like nothing in there right now. So I need to change it today actually. These little patches here are like for when the tape falls off, so you need some extra stickiness. It's been hurting like ever since the last time I changed it, which was 4 days ago. It just hurts on my skin. It's not the insides that hurt at all. It's like underneath the tape. Normally it itches a lot, but now it just hurts. Like it hurts to push on it. It hurts to like stand up. It like feels like something is constantly pulling on my skin. So I honestly can't wait to change it today to see if that helps. Like I wonder if it's just on a weird way right now. I do have a home health nurse now and she has come twice so far. The first time she came, she did it a complete different way than I was taught and a complete different way than everybody was doing it on me, like at the hospital. The poop that comes out of here is very, very like acidic, like very bad to touch your skin. It makes it very rashy. So in order to prevent leaking or to prevent it from touching your skin, there's like a O-ring, a washer basically, that you're supposed to put around the stoma, like the intestine, to make sure that if it leaks, it doesn't fall onto my skin, it falls onto that ring that goes on me. So the first time she came here, she totally left out the washer part, and then she like cut a hole in the only other thing that was going to prevent it from leaking on purpose. She just made it wider than it normally is, and literally a few hours after she left, it started leaking. And she was like, I can come back tomorrow and fix it. And I was taught at the hospital, like, if you're leaking, you need to change it right away. Like, you can't let that stuff sit on your skin. So the fact that she was so like, oh, no big deal, I'll come back tomorrow, like, it was giving me a lot of irritation. And like, I just decided, screw it, I'll change it myself. So I changed it myself for the first time because I had to. And it took a really long time, but I did a really good job and it didn't leak after that. My irritation, like all the rashes and itchiness, calmed down after I did it because I really took my time and I made sure that I did the procedure correctly. I did go to an appointment specifically for this, for them to check up on the rash that was underneath. I don't know if you even knew that I had a rash, but that happened at the hospital because they had to change it like multiple times, maybe like 4 times within like a day and a half. My skin was really red and irritated and itchy, so they scheduled me to go to that stoma appointment to check up on the rash and to make sure it was healing okay. It was looking okay when I got there, but of course, like, that was right after the leak happened, so the leak made it worse again. But they gave me a new procedure to help it breathe more because they said that it was like a yeast rash, which is just when it's like a dark place with a lot of moisture. Like, it's normal, it's not gross or anything. So she gave me different supplies so it doesn't sit so close to my skin. It's been a lot more uncomfortable since I've been using those new supplies because they feel like they want to peel off more easily. It's like before, the stickers didn't have that much to hold down, but the contraption now is pushing up, so the tape really has to hold it down. So that has been annoying. But anyway, so the home health nurse came 4 days ago and we did it the way that the stoma specialist taught me to do. My home health nurse is sick, so she was like, you're on your own, good luck. I mean, she offered to like call and whatever. She was being really nice, but you know, I told her I'm good, I have the written instructions, I know what to do. I don't like being on the phone. I don't know, yeah, it's weird. So I'm not sure if I've talked about this before, but I do want to just explain what it was like at the hospital because I feel like I didn't go into much or enough detail. At the hospital, there was sort of like a daily routine kind of thing. And that's why I had the blood work done in this hand. So at 4 a.m. every morning, they are supposed to go to every little room and take everybody's blood. I was awake like every few hours. Sometimes I would wake up at like 2 a.m. and then I would be up for the whole day. So I would like 4 a.m. would be approaching and I'd be so freaking anxious about the blood work. Sometimes they would show up right on time. Sometimes they would show up a few hours late, and sometimes they wouldn't show up at all. Like for the whole day, I'd be like, oh, they never came today. As you guys know, I've made it very clear I don't like needles. So even though it's not an IV, blood work still freaks me out. So that sucked. And then also they had to give me a shot every morning, which usually hurt a lot. And it was always in the same spot, like in the back of my arm. Some nurses pinched it and then did it, and that made it like not as painful, but some just went for it, and I swear to God it was a long needle. So there was like a nurse trainee type of person, I don't know what that's called, but she wasn't on her own yet, I guess. She was still like shadowing somebody. And she did my shot one morning, and I hate being used as a test subject in a hospital because I already do super bad with the professionals. And the shot that she gave me was so significantly, so much more painful than the same freaking shot that all the other nurses gave me. Like, it's the same shot every day. It just goes to show, like, experience, seriously, like, there's just, I don't know, there's a certain angle that they do it at. There's a certain way to hold the skin. Like, you don't just shove it in. Like, it's not easy. Like, you seriously have to like practice and listen to your patients and whatever. But anyway, it was like one of those shots that kind of like hurt to move your arm for a while, and I'm pretty sure that that shot was to prevent blood clots. So when I was off the pain meds and off the IVs and everything, they still came in and gave me that shot every day, and they also gave me like a few pills, and I know one of them was for blood clots. One of them was for the stool in here to thicken or not thicken, I don't remember. I haven't obviously done any of that since I got home from the hospital. I stopped all of that medication and I'm fine, I'm just chilling. It was really annoying because at the hospital I knew that once I go home I wasn't going to be getting those shots anymore, so it's like, do you really have to give them to me, like if I don't really need them? But yeah, so blood work in the morning, shot in the morning, pills in the morning, and sometimes they would wake me up for that, which sucked, but also it was like I was so out of it, I didn't really care. I didn't have enough time to freak out. But sometimes I would be like up, like anticipating it, being like, oh God, I hope they don't show up. That was my morning routine, and I already told you this, but normally I would have a tray of breakfast come and I either wouldn't be hungry or I would be sleeping. So I would normally wake up to cold food. I think that's it. And then during the day is when the nurses are the most attentive and in and out. And that was when the stoma specialists were coming in to train me on stuff. That's normally when I would call people. I looked at my menu. I would just like anticipate the next meal and I would try to pick out what I wanted, and I would call ahead for my order. That was one of the most exciting parts of my day, getting to choose what I wanted to eat, even though the food was really disappointing almost every single time. So I was sort of occupied throughout the days, but at night I literally had the same show. Like, I was on cable because they didn't have Netflix or anything. So I literally had channels memorized. Let's see if I can remember. What was my system? I went through the same numbers. I would go 16. I think 16 was Disney Channel. I watched Jessie and Bunked a few times, which like is like not that bad, I guess. 18 was Comedy Central, I'm pretty sure, and that's where I watched South Park and The Office. 34 was True TV, and that's where I watched Impractical Jokers. 13 was something, I don't remember what channel it was. Yeah, I remember, like on my remote I would go 13, 16, 18, 34, right? Yeah. So that was what my TV time consisted of. I played my DS like maybe a few times, like not for that long. Like, I got bored almost instantly. I brought books with me, I brought journals, I didn't use any of it. I barely went in my whole bag that I packed. I guess I napped a lot during the day probably. That was pretty much it though. When I was there, it was really hard to pee. All of my insides were so like sensitive and sore. Like, I don't know if you realize, but when you pee, like obviously when you poop you tense because like you need to push it out, but pee seems like more natural, right? Like it kind of just comes out. But I didn't realize until I was in the hospital, and all of my insides were sore that I had to like push my pee out. Like a little bit came out by itself, but in order to get the rest of it to come out, I had to like tense and flex and push it out. And it was so uncomfortable, and that was such a weird feeling. Like, I've never felt that before. I think it happened like yesterday, and it hasn't happened at all like since the hospital, but yesterday I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, Trigger warning for like gross stuff. So I have found that a lot of the food that I eat sometimes will come out the same way it goes in. So for example, I'm not supposed to eat seeds because they could clog the little hole. I've been eating watermelon and picking out all the seeds with a toothpick. It's so tedious and so annoying, but like it's good, and it's like one of the healthiest things that I've eaten, so you know, I just forced myself to do that. But I guess I missed a seed one time, and I literally saw a watermelon seed in my bag, like just a little white, like it was so obvious what it was, in a whole bag of liquid, just a little white watermelon seed. And I was like, okay, that's really terrifying that that didn't break down at all. Like, I totally understand how that could clog if I didn't pick out any seeds. And the watermelon itself, it looks like it was barely digested. Like, it's the same texture still, it's the same color. It literally looks like shreds of watermelon, or like, it's so weird. It's like watermelon soup. And what's so bizarre about the watermelon is that it sort of separates. So there would be like pink water at the bottom of the bag, but separated there'd be like really thick chunks of like red, like straight up watermelon in my bag. And that was so weird. That's like probably the weirdest thing that I've seen. I've seen it be all different colors. So it's been red from watermelon. Right now it's very orange. I'm trying to think from what. I just had like French toaster sticks. It might be from that. I've seen it definitely yellow. You know what's so crazy though that I just realized? When I was in the hospital, it was like black, like a blackish green, like very, very, very dark. And that's so weird. I didn't really notice the transition, but there totally was one. Usually it's just yellowish. But anyway, aside from the way that it looks in there, it has a smell. So there's sort of like a base smell where every time you empty the bag, it has that smell in it, but that smell is always mixed with like the last thing you ate kind of thing, or like whatever there is the most of in your bag. So I've smelled the watermelon before. I smelled chicken noodle soup when I ate it, and I smelled eggs, and the eggs smelled so freaking bad. It's so weird. It literally smells like somebody's cooking in here, but plus poop, so it's like not cute. But what's even more weird, and I'm sorry if this is TMI, but like that's kind of the whole point of this video, you know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to be sharing, like, this is interesting. Even though it's disgusting, it's interesting. So there is mucus in my large intestine, because even though it's sort of closed off and no food is getting inside of it, it's still trying to work. So it forms mucus, which you poop out like every few days. It's very stringy, like it's very, very thin strands when it comes out, and it's like pretty liquidy, but it sort of stays together. Like, it holds its form, but it's not poop at all. Like, it's totally not solid. So it's just like stringy, liquidy, like almost diarrhea-ish, and it's like white, yellow, like yellow white. I know what some of you are thinking, and I'm kind of thinking the same thing, to be honest. Like, that might be the best thing to compare it to. But anyway, when it comes out, it's like just a little bit. Like, if it was a length of a strand, maybe like that much. Like, that's all that comes out. Just a tiny little bit, and you feel like you have to poop so bad. Like, it feels like you have to go to the bathroom immediately. Literally like a diarrhea attack. Like, oh fuck, I gotta get to the bathroom. But like, it doesn't come out most of the time. Like, maybe 1 out of 3 times does it actually come out. But when it does, it's like, it's just so bizarre. It's like, you know how, okay, I'm sorry, this is so gross, but like, you know how when you poop, like for real, your butthole like fucking opens to let that shit out? Literally. But for this, like, I can tell that my butt is like barely opening at all, because that's how thin it is when it comes out. It's so weird. But let me tell you, it smells so bad, so much worse than any crap I've ever taken. Literally, like, I cannot even explain. Like, so much worse than the stuff that comes out of here. And I thought that the stuff that came out of here was disgusting. When I was in the hospital, I had to put my mask on when I emptied this, and I still smelled it, and it literally like almost triggered my gag reflex. Like, it was disgusting. Now I'm like totally used to it. Like, it's still gross, but it's like whatever. It's just like pooping. Like, that's gross, but everybody's used to it. But the mucus is so much worse than this, so much worse than poop. It's like the smallest amount, just a few drops in the toilet, and it stinks up the whole bathroom. It smells horrible, and I'm really curious about that. Like, I wonder if that is what makes our poop smell bad. And also, like, does that normally come out with poop when food is actually going all the way through your system like it's supposed to? Like, does mucus come out with every poop, or like every few days like it does for me now? Like, I don't know, it just seems so weird and gross, and I don't want to talk about this anymore. But anyway, I have not unpacked my bag still from the hospital, and also there are a lot of papers from the hospital that I haven't even read yet. So I think that that's what I want to do right now. I think I need to finally just go through that stuff, and I'll probably do a time lapse just so you can see like how much shit they gave me. I have my little suitcase thing just full of random crap, like stuff that I brought with me and also stuff that I took home from the hospital. And they also gave me garbage bags of just medical supplies. It's so unorganized, and I don't know where anything is, and I have a lot to sort out. Oh, by the way, it's a lot easier for me to walk now and bend down and move. It still hurts a little bit. It just feels sore. So if you see me like crouching down or something, it's like no big deal. Okay, so everything is organized. I just thought that I would show you the supplies that I use. And sorry, the lighting is so bad. I'm too lazy to get my ring light in here. These are the supplies that I'm gonna use today when I change it. So these are the little washer things that I was talking about that go like around the stoma to make sure that no poop touches my skin. So it's just like a little sticky ring that sticks right onto my skin, and it's moldable, so you can pull it apart to like match the right size. And this stuff is like indestructible. Like, somehow like all the acid and stuff sits on it all the time, and it gets a little like wilted, but nothing can get through this. When all the bandaging is off, it literally just looks like regular skin. There's no weird thing around it. It's literally just like a big red bump on my skin. This goes right around that red bump, and then this goes on top, and this is the sticker. So all of this white stuff is what sticks to your body, and that tan part in the middle is supposed to match up with this. So these like stick together like that, and then these are the bags, and that's what you've been seeing on me. And this back part connects to this, so these snap together. So basically everything goes like through that hole out of my body and into this bag. That's literally it. That's the whole contraption. The only thing is that the stickers on this don't always work, so in that case you have to just put these little stickers around it to make it stick better. When I changed it by myself after it leaked, I did it in the shower, and it was so helpful because all the hot water made it just like fall off, like no pain at all. So that's what I plan on doing today. I'm gonna get in a hot shower and let all the stickers like sort of peel off themselves. Otherwise you have to like rip it off, and it really hurts a lot. At least for me, I think I have sensitive skin, because whenever all the tape comes off, it hurts so bad, and I have so many supplies for that. Like, you can use this to get it off. I think these are the wipes that I've been using. So you just like take out the wipe and you rub it against the tape, and it's supposed to make it like non-adhesive. It's supposed to make it come up, but it still really hurts because it like pulls on all the hairs on your belly. Since I have like a rash going on, my stoma specialist, the one that I went to go see last week, gave me this, and it's supposed to help. Stop. Oh my god. Nuh-uh. Rocky just bit this bag. I swear to God, if he made a hole, I'm gonna be so mad. Okay, no, he didn't. It was just wet. Okay, so at the appointment, she wrote this for me, and it explains the procedure, which I'm gonna do today. So it says to clean it with water only, but since I have like this stuff under here right now, I used this last time, it's like crusty, like there's stuff on my skin, like it's not clean. I will probably use this. I wonder if I can touch this with my skin. Well, obviously, since it literally okay, I'm stupid. Pat dry. Can you stop? Pat dry, probably with like a towel or like some gauze or something. And then it says sprinkle the powder. I just like use a Q-tip and I stick it in there and I rub it around the stoma. So after the powder is on, I take a wipe out and I pat it into the powder to make the powder like almost pasty, so it's like not powder anymore. And then I do the same thing again. So I go in with more powder on a Q-tip, I put it on top, and then I seal it again with the wipe. That's it. That's literally it. And then after that, on top of all that skin prep, I would put the ring, and then the sticker and the bag. It's easiest to see what you're doing when you put it right on like this, so you can like slip it through the hole. But what sucks is that this has to snap on. So once this is on you, you have to like press this against your belly, and obviously that's a sensitive area since it was just like operated on. So it is really sore and a little painful to snap all of it in because you have to push pretty hard. So it is an option to snap this into place before sticking this on, but the only issue about that is that this piece kind of covers up, like you can't really see that well what you're doing or if it's going through the hole correctly. Last time I think I did this and then I snapped that on, and I think I'm gonna do that again. I don't know if I'm confident enough by myself to snap it on first. I really want to be able to see what I'm doing. This stuff used to really gross me out. Like at the hospital when they were teaching me how to do it, I couldn't even look. Like it was so disgusting. I hated when they changed it. I hated seeing it. I hated looking at the bag. Like everything about this was disgusting, but now it's like a part of me, you know what I mean? Like it's really not gross anymore. I'm just so used to it. You know how this sort of stretches out? You have to stretch it to the perfect exact size to make it snug, and then you like push it in, and then this is the same thing. Like that ring inside also stretches out. I didn't used to do this, but after I went to that appointment, she started to want me to do this, to cut out a little chunk at the side because the stoma isn't exactly like perfectly round, so she wanted me to sort of cut out the same shape that the stoma is so it fits on better. But we didn't have to do that before and it was working just fine, so I don't know, I'll just do it anyway, but I don't think I really have to. So this is the box of bags, this is the box of the big sticker things, and then these are the little O-rings. And then I have a big box of gloves, which I don't even really use, honestly. This is more for like if somebody else is helping me with it, they can use gloves. It's recommended that I use gloves on myself, but I don't like not being able to feel my skin, so I just make sure my hands are clean. These are my wristbands from the hospital. They scanned these literally all the time. They never scanned this orange one. They said that that one was only for if I needed like a blood transfusion. That didn't hurt that bad. That was kind of rough. Yeah, they said like if something went wrong, like they needed this to know what type of blood I have in an emergency. So they put this on me and it was really annoying, and they never used it for the entire time. But this one, they used this all the time. They scanned it every time they gave me medicine. I think they scanned it when they took my vitals too, and then maybe when they gave me my blood work. I don't remember, but I know that this was scanned multiple times a day. For some reason, like when I was laying in bed, this was my position. Like I always had my arm up here on my head and the band was on my arm. So I'd literally just be laying there and they'd come up and scan it. And I'm like, okay. That was kind of funny. On the bag, there are little like holes here, and that's for this very specific belt. So this like clips into the hole on either side. I've never done this before. I guess I'll do it now to make sure that it works. I'd rather it go wrong on this than on myself. So that's in there like that. And then on the other side, I'm excited to use this. I've really been needing it, honestly. It seems like really dorky, but it's gonna be so helpful. So you know how it's like obviously against your body? It like holds it down so that all of the fluid doesn't literally weigh me down and like pull the whole contraption down, but also it'll hold the stickers down. Definitely gonna start using that. Okay, so this is what I have left. This is what it looks like in here. I can't really, I'll just take things out and show you. These are stickers for when you shower. See that little thing up here? The thing that's preventing you from seeing this whole circle? I think that it's a carbon filter. I think that's what they call it. And this is to make it not smell. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take a sticker and put it on top of this when you're showering if you don't plan on changing your bag after, so that it doesn't ruin the filter. This is to measure the size of your stoma, and mine is a 45 right now. Okay, so 44 is right here. This is not the size of my stoma. That's like massive, but this is the size that they use for the bag. If I had to get, I'm gonna look at it really quick. I think if I had to pick a size for the actual stoma, it's probably about one of those. That's how big the actual like part of my intestines is that's coming out of my body. And then I have gauze. What I honestly mostly use this for is to just cover the stoma when I'm changing it, when there's no any type of dressing on it. I'll put that on because it can leak like at any given time. So if it starts pooping on me when there's no bag on yet, it'll fall into this and it won't make such a big mess because it's like liquid, like it drips, like yeah, it's gross. And this was a freaking lifesaver. This is non-irritating like rash treatment, and it's very, very expensive. I don't know how much, but they were saying they're not supposed to give this away to anybody because it's way too expensive, but my rash was so like concerning. They were like, okay, we'll give you some, but don't tell anybody. It cracks like a glow stick, and then it comes out of this little like felt tip, comes out very purple, and you rub it all over the redness, all over the irritated skin, like after you take off all the bandages and stuff and after you clean it. This is what you would put on underneath the powder. I'm gonna save this in case I really, really desperately need it because I only have one left. And then all that's left are these wipes that I got at the hospital. One of them is a bathing cloth and one of them is like a cleansing cloth. So I actually used this like yesterday or the day before because I'm afraid to shower with this thing and I have to change this every 4 days. So I know it sounds super nasty, but I've only been showering like once every 4 days. But this is like an alternative to showering and cleaning your body. It's literally just like a big wipe and you just wipe your whole body. I'm not sure what the cleansing cloth is for. I think it would be for wiping the actual area of the stoma. So the only thing, honestly, about not showering for 4 days is that my hair gets kind of greasy. So I need to shower today. So this is like as bad as it gets after 4 days. It's honestly not bad at all, in my opinion. I think it looks fine. I mean, it's not presentable, but you know, it's whatever. And this is like TMI, so like just be warned. But when I used to shower, like before I got this thing, the main focus of my shower was my butthole because I think that's so gross. Like I literally wash my butthole like probably 3 or 4 times at least every time I shower, because poop is like straight up disgusting. Like I don't know, I feel like that's the smelliest part of you. That is the reason I shower. Like that's the first thing for me to feel grossed out by. Like, oh my god, if I've gone like 3 days without showering, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, oh my god, my butthole's like fucking rotting. So the thing about having this bag is that nothing is coming out of my butt, like just a little baby bit of mucus every few days, which is like nothing. It kind of stays clean, you know what I mean? So I don't feel the need to shower for that main reason anymore. But like, you know, on the other end, that is still like needs attention, and that is my second main reason for showering. But I do have flushable wipes and I'll just clean it with that because like showering is such a pain in the ass. Like I know that this is like disgusting and I shouldn't be admitting this on the internet, but like every 4 days is like the best I can do right now. It's sort of hard to reach certain places. Like my flexibility is gone now that like everything here is sore. I can't really like stretch all that much. Like it really sucks. So yeah, showering is hard and it takes me longer than usual, and I don't know, it's not like I'm going to work or going out or anything. Like there's really nothing that's getting me dirty. You can judge me if you want to, but like come on. And that's it. So I do have a bunch of stuff here though that I unloaded from my luggage or whatever. So I guess I'll show you that really quick. So this is like a breathing exercise thing that they gave me at the hospital. They were saying that it was really important that I work on my breathing in order to prevent getting, what's it called? When fluid goes in your lungs, whatever that is. It looks like something that you blow into, but you actually suck in, and you have to keep this thing between the 2 arrows. They don't really tell you like what number you have to get to, but the fact that you can get all the way up to here, that's possible, and I only got to like 250 in the hospital. I don't know, that seemed concerning to me. Like my breaths were so shallow. I literally constantly have a shortness of breath. But when I was in the hospital, that marker right there, that's the highest that I ever got it to. So I'm gonna do it right now just to see. 3 weeks after surgery. So you're supposed to like exhale first and then inhale into this. So I'm gonna do that. Damn, that was pretty good. I made it to right there, like exactly at that line. So I don't think I need this pneumonia. It was pneumonia, that's what I was talking about. I feel like I had it for a few days low-key, because like whenever I swallowed, I don't know if this even make like I don't know, I don't even know if that makes sense, but whenever I drank something, something felt weird in my chest. Like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. But if I did have it, I definitely don't anymore. I can breathe fine now, it feels fine now. But yeah, this is like to prevent that, literally. So they had these tissue boxes at the hospital and I brought them home because I'm cheap as hell and I'll literally take anything I can get for free. I literally took this food that they were giving me, which I didn't even really like, but my dad was like, oh my God, don't let it go to waste. Literally, like all of my morals and values come from him. Like my cheapness, my don't waste stuff. When my dad came to visit me and get me out of the hospital, he brought me a bagel from Bagel Mania, which is like the freaking best Jewish deli in Las Vegas. Like I want to say ever, because like I've never even been to one. That's the only one I've been to, but Bagel Mania is only in Vegas. So I have napkins from that. This is all just stuff that I unloaded from my suitcase thing that I packed. I'll use those. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I was on my period during surgery. It was freaking awful. Literally the first half of the hospital time was like me on my period. So these are pads from the hospital. Everything back here is just toiletries that I brought with me. I might have used a face wipe like one time. I also brought my wipes for down there and I used those. But I was there for 8 days and I did not shower once, which is so gross, but like I was literally incapable, but nobody even brought it up. Nobody was like, hey, like maybe we should get you showered, I can help you out. Like nobody said anything like that. I was like, am I literally just gonna like get grosser and grosser by the day? And they were trying to keep me there for longer than 8 days. Like, was there never gonna be a point where they suggested a shower? So I showered like the moment I got home. But also super gross, I think I only brushed my teeth in the hospital like 2 times total, and the first time probably was like 5 days after I got there. So I showed you everything except for my big pile of papers, which I forgot about. I'm not gonna show you everything, I'm just gonna show you the interesting stuff. So I really wanted to show you the menu of all the food that I got at the hospital. The clear liquid diet is listed here, and that's what I was on for maybe the first day or 2 at the hospital. And then the full liquids, which I was on for a few days. So when I ordered my own breakfast, I pretty much always asked for scrambled eggs, white toast, and the cottage cheese was so good. Oh my God, cottage cheese, yes. And then they gave me whatever was also being served that day. But the thing that sucks is my diet was so limited, like they left a lot of it out. So I'm gonna show you the lunch and dinner now. Out of the lunch, I was not given pork. I was given cinnamon applesauce though, which was really yummy. Was not allowed to eat salad, so I wasn't given that. Chocolate chip cookie, I never got that. What? I'm upset. Mashed potatoes, so good. One of the very few things that I liked. Macaroni and cheese, oh my God, why didn't I get that? This sucks. The vanilla pudding was not good. Could not even eat it. There was like a deli sandwich that they gave me, like ham and cheese, and I put mayonnaise on it, and it was like freaking me out, but it was okay, I guess. Yeah, I think cilantro chicken is what they gave me on Friday. I'm pretty damn sure. And it was like, all right, but then they just kept giving me chicken after that. They gave me so much chicken and I just got so sick of it so fast. The steak though was super good. Mushroom sauce, interesting. I just thought it was like gravy. I didn't know it was mushroom. It was really good though. This is the other thing I wanted to show you. This is the list of foods that they want me to eat. This is like good food for the bag. Here's the other side. And to sum that up, they basically just want me to eat variations of white bread, eggs, peanut butter, yogurt, very well cooked vegetables, but only specific ones, bananas, and that's like it. I never look at this side because it literally grosses me out. It just reminds me of hospital food when I look at it, and none of this stuff sounds good. The list of what not to eat is more intense because there's so much stuff on here that I can't have. So it's a shorter list technically, like it all fits on one page. So this is what I can't eat. To sum that up, I'm not supposed to have any whole wheat, any whole grain, any brown rice, popcorn, any nuts, any seeds, hot dog, burger, like any fatty food, potato chips, bacon, sausage, fried foods, any raw vegetables, any raw fruits. They don't even want me drinking like pulp juice, like orange juice with pulp, can't have that. They don't don't want me to have high fructose corn syrup, don't want me to have alcohol. It's so crazy. Like, I swear to God, I can't eat anything because they make it very clear you can't have fatty foods, you can't have greasy foods. So I literally just have to eat like white bread and like yogurt and applesauce. Like, that's the safest thing for me to eat. I was following this really strictly for the first few days after I got home from the hospital, and then I decided to just try some other things that seemed kind of risky, like bagel bites, because pizza was a huge thing that I couldn't eat because how greasy it is, but the bagel bites were okay. I tried a McDonald's burger later on, and that was okay. Honestly, the main concern is blockage. Just as long as things don't clog that little hole, I don't really care. You know what I mean? As long as it's not actually damaging my body, like, I'll eat it. I had mac and cheese, totally fine. So all these things that I was really afraid to eat and I was so upset that I wouldn't be able to eat, I can eat. I'm not following this really anymore. I haven't looked at it in a long time. I'm just trying to be smart and use my brain and use common sense. Obviously, I'm not going to eat mango or celery or anything that's stringy that could literally ball up and clog it. So that's pretty much it. Hi, so I just got out of the shower and I changed a thing all by myself. I just wanted to show you really quick. A little bit of stuff came out, so it's not perfectly clean, but it looks a lot better than how it did before. I'm just wearing underwear, lol. It looks pretty good. This is a rash from where I had that extra sticker on. Those extra stickers suck. I feel like it went pretty smoothly. This part is having trouble sticking down, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Mission accomplished. I'll let you know if anything happens with this. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. I just made myself some bagel bites. I'm really excited, so I'm about to go eat that and probably try to fall asleep to Bob's Burgers. I think it's like 11 right now. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.